I'm going to add to that, and I'm going to say make a practical plan to implement everything both Jessicas have said. And so I tell my clients, first Friday is Freaky Friday. That's the day that we are going to introduce something new. And so think about it kind of like when you get bored of cooking all of the same recipes. Okay, so start watching the cooking channel to get a different recipe, go get a cooking book, Google something on, there's thousands of ways to figure out how can I cook something different. And I want you to think about that same exact thing and then like purpose to do it. And so if you say every month, this is a day that we purpose to try something new, I purpose to cook a new meal, then you will always kind of be incorporating something new and spicy or into your repertoire. That's my 2 cents. Okay. Next question. Oh, and did you want to answer, Taj? It's your
I
question.
mean, my 2 cents piggybacks off of yours. I just said it has to be prioritized.
Mm-hmm.
Just has to be prioritized. You got to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's it, because I think TV, novels, movies have all made sex seem like it just happens and there's no thought and there's enough passion that it will. But I'd like to you guys to note that most sex that we see on TV is people getting together. It is not people who have been together for 20 years and we comfortable with each other. And so that new love energy wears off. The longest it will last is about 2 years. Might be longer if y'all were like not seeing each other consistently, but it can't go too much past 2 years. And so know that what you're watching and what you're seeing and what you implement in your life. And if you're comparing yourself to other couples, please, 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 please make sure you're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. I don't want a 20-year couple comparing themselves to a newlywed couple. Like, come on, they ain't got no kids. Like, they don't have, like, just stop it. Well, they're doing it all the time. Like, stop. Okay, Jessica.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, you can, like, the new energy that you were talking about, people can kill the new energy as well. So like if you are rushing through your courtship and you move in a month after meeting this person, that new energy is not going to last 2 years, because part of that is dragging it out. It's that anticipation. It's reveling in the process of it and being present in that moment versus we're gonna get married, and then you're like, okay, what the hell happened? And it's like, yep, that's what did it.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, next question.
Okay. How do you know when your partner is faking it? It being an orgasm.
Right. I always heard that if you touch their lips while they're orgasming, their lips are cold because blood is elsewhere. Yeah.
I did not know that. Like, wow, I have learned something new today.
Now I have to try.
Oh, right.
I don't know. I always have asked guys, like, how does it feel for you down there? Because I don't have a male partner. How does it feel for you? And they would say, like, they can feel a woman clench up. They can feel like the grip or what have you. So I really don't understand how can you really fake it? Because you feel it. If you don't feel her moving, you don't feel nothing like gripping.
I think definitely some people can fake it.
Yes,
I think if you think your partner is faking it, though, we gotta have a conversation. This is not just let me guess in the darkness. It needs to be like, hey, I just wanted to check in with you. How are you experiencing our time together? Like, what are you enjoying? What are you not enjoying? I was wondering, was that a full orgasm for you, or are you able to orgasm with me? Do you feel pressured by me to have an orgasm? Because a lot of women, I don't think I've had a man say this yet, so I'm gonna say a lot of women. Okay, so the science is that it takes most women about 20 minutes to have an orgasm. The latest science said actually anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes to have an orgasm. So a lot of women will feel pressured when they don't have an orgasm fast enough for their partner. Mind you, a lot of this happens without a conversation. just it feels like it's taking too long. They must be getting upset, like tired of me or upset. Now, I have also literally been in a workshop where a man literally said, and I gotta say it crassly. He was like, I can eat pussy all day long. Like, I love it. And all of the women were just like, huh? And so and so please make sure you're having a conversation out loud with your partner. Just does it feel like I'm taking too long for you? Is it enough? Or am I coming too quickly for you? And figure out how we can work together. Do we need to change kind of our sexual dance and do this first and this second and this third or whatnot? But you gotta have a conversation. We can't just be in our head assuming one way or the other. Okay.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if this is consider faking, if you feel like you're not connected to your partner and they're not able to give you an orgasm, and you think about something else to try to force that feeling, is that faking?
I don't
Because
think so.
it's not faking. Okay.
Well, and I would also encourage, like, kind of piggybacking off of what Natalie said, like 45 minutes. We don't need to be in bed for 45 minutes necessarily, but
Mhm.
the foreplay, the orgasm can start at the beginning of the day before you're ever touching each other.
Oh,
How are you
that's
putting
so
yourselves in
good.
the mindset?
Mhm.
How are you creating that anticipation that yeah,
So
by
good.
the time you're ready to go, you're ready to go.
Mhm.
And so paying attention to all of the build up, which is part of it, because if you're having sex for 10 minutes, which is probably enough for him to potentially come, we're coming short
Mhm.
for the women.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And y'all remember most women do not have an orgasm through penis vagina sex. Like 70 to 80% do not.
Each.
So please let's make sure that we're incorporating all of these facts into our wonderful sexual dance. Okay. All right. Good
Oh, and
morning,
also
everybody.
paying attention, like the research, I always love this. They did a research study and they were like, oh, when women wear socks, they orgasm.
What?
No, that's not. That's
What?
not. It's
But
women's
everybody's like,
feet
wait,
are
what?
cold. Yeah. It's paying attention to the whole body, because if a woman's feet are cold or if something else is going on, she's not able to concentrate on what's going on because her feet are cold. And so just like, hey, how's
Mhm.
your temperature? How is the temperature in the room? Like, what do we need to do to make sure that you're comfortable and can concentrate on this experience?
Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. Whole body. Okay. All right. Next question.
Well, I wanted to
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
throw my little 2 cents in there. I pretty much said everything that you guys said, but I also included you have to know your partner, one, and know how they orgasm to know how, like, if they're faking it.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
if you have a person who's typically quiet and then one day they're just, I
Not.
mean, noises out the wazoo that doesn't
Mhm.
even seem
The what?
correlated.
Yeah.
They might be faking it that day, and
Mhm.
you need to have a conversation afterwards. So
Mhm.
that's the only thing. Like, pay attention to their noises, their trembles, their responses to you. And if it seems outlandish, I would just ask the question. Just
Yeah.
ask the question.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question. This one was interesting. Why is it if I'm around someone, I can climax just by being close? No sex, no sexual connection, no touching. It's not just sometimes, but all the time. Is it just a desire or lust, or am I one step closer to falling in love with this person?
I think it comes from the
First of all,
intimacy.
I'm highly excited for you.
Yeah, jealous rather.
Right?
Um, I,
Like, oh my
I
God.
I think as sex therapists, when clients come to us when they have these issues, they think we just talk about positions and sex and get to the freaky deaky. But we all
We
say
hardly
that's
ever.
that's the
Sex therapy
last
is not
step.
sexy.
That's when we talk about sex, that's like the very last thing. Can we work from the inside out? And a lot of times, intimacy is that key ingredient that is missing. And that's not always in the bedroom and it's not always sexual. So, if you're creating that context and creating the environment like Jessica Renard was talking about, sometimes the sex is just the cherry on top. So if you're feeling that way, when you guys get in that moment, it's going to be a better connection mentally, spiritually, and physically to have that vulnerability. I know as women, if this is a woman who asks this question, to really connect, because women are more open when they feel safe with the men and secure. So I feel like she's like almost at the finish line, and she should be glad that she has that, because a lot of people struggle with people they've been with for decades and still have not found a connection, or they have grown apart.
Just for context, this was a male.
Well,
Oh,
and that's what I
dig
would
deep.
also, yeah. So we also want to be aware of consent. And if you are around this person that you're not actually in a relationship with and imagining all of these things in your head that are providing you a lot of pleasure, that is lovely for you. That person may not have consented for some of that.
To
And
be in a
so
sexual space with you.
becoming fixated on a person that has not consented could borderline into stalking behavior and unhealthy obsession. I would also really love to know, like, is a lot of this the story in your head and you're not actually broaching reality? And so I'm wondering if in reality it wouldn't happen as much because we don't actually know who they are. It's the story I've made up in my head.
Yeah. So what I'd like to say to that is your brain is your most powerful sexual organ, that so much of it is in brain and story and perception and all of that. And so I mean, just know that this is the reason why people can have orgasms in their sleep, is their brain is the most powerful sexual organ. And so just kind of being aware.
Also, it reminds me of the erotic blueprint. So 2 of the erotic blueprints are more likely to have orgasms without being touched. And that's kinky, and that's kind of the psychological part of it, as well as the energetic profiles. And it's the vibes are right. If we're playing with the anticipation, if we're, so there are a lot of things to be said for those as well.
Yay. Oh, okay.
Oh, well, I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
A
quickie.
Huh?
I said a quickie.
Pun intended.
Okay. I left a long-term relationship a few years ago and have not involved myself seriously with anyone since then. Just a few dates, no sex. How do I communicate to a potential partner that I want to take it very, very slow? And I want to truly build the relationship first before becoming sexually involved. And will this wait turn off my potential partner?
So the way you communicate it is exactly like that. You
Yeah, that's what I was
communicate
gonna
it.
say.
You say those words out loud. That was very clear. And then I think you need to see it as, if this turns my partner off, then this isn't my partner. This isn't
Took
my
the
partner.
word out of my mouth.
Well, I would like to say, please don't have the person waiting like 5-10 years though. Like, I want to be reasonable with your timeline, and what that looks like. And I'm sure there's books and YouTube videos that'll help you figure out a timeline, or come in and talk to us and we'll help you figure out a nice timeline for yourself, which also means do your work before you get in a relationship. And so that when you do meet the right person, you're not holding it up because you're operating out of a spirit of fear, yeah, and that you can like be open to trusting somebody and really getting to know somebody. I don't know the startup. I got this off of YouTube. Okay, this is not valid research. Like, I haven't seen the valid research, so I'd like to say that. But that it takes about 6 months, 172 days. So again, I haven't seen the research. I just got this off of YouTube. But it's something that I was listening to. 6 months, about 172 days, to know if you could marry this person or not. And so again, shouldn't take 10 years, but you do have permission in there to take as long as you need to take. I'm sorry, that sounds like oxymoronic, like not like what it when
Oxymoron.
Thank
No,
you.
of course.
Like I'm saying two different things. Like,
Mhm.
but the biggest thing is
Paradoxical. Yeah.
thank you. Is to have the conversation. Like you gotta say it out loud.
Mhm.
Okay. That's it.
Yep. Yep. Well, thank y'all for answering these questions.
Yeah. Thank
Touch.
you guys. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.